Hi students, today in this session we will discuss about virtual memory. So our next topic is virtual memory. So what exactly is a virtual memory? So virtual memory is a memory which does not exist. Okay, originally don't exist, but it appears as if it is existing. It is simply our illusion. Okay, virtual memory is nothing but it is simply our illusion. Okay, originally it don't exist. Like we have physical memory. Physical memory is nothing but main memory. We have main memory and secondary memory. So those two memories they exist physically. Okay, but this virtual memory is a memory which don't exist physically, but it appears as if it is existing. It is simply an illusion to the user. Okay, we will see exactly. So what exactly is a virtual memory? So suppose if there is a process to execute, and what we do, normally we know main memory, we will have secondary memory, right? So what we do, whenever there is any process to execute, we will keep that process inside the main memory. Okay, we will keep that process here. Okay, and this will be executed by CPU. Okay, so we already know that whenever we want to execute any process, okay, that process will be kept in the main memory, and from there the CPU will execute all the processes one by one or one after the other. Okay. So what about secondary memory? We know secondary memory consists of bunch of process or lots of process or huge number of processes are available in the secondary memory. Okay. So out of which the processes which are ready for execution, those processes will be sent from secondary memory to the main memory. Okay, from main memory those will be executed by the CPU. Hope you are understanding. This already we have discussed in the earlier topics. So secondary memory is nothing but secondary memory is a place where many number of processes are available. Okay, out of which what we do is some processes will be selected. Means the processes which are ready for execution, those processes will be selected from the secondary memory and they will be kept, they will be moved into the main memory. Okay. Now all the processes which are available in the main memory, those processes will be executed by the CPU one by one. Okay. As the process in the main memory are being executed, then what we do is we will move or we will transfer the remaining process which are in ready state, which are ready for execution, those processes again we will move from secondary memory to the main memory. Like this the process goes on. That we know, that we have already discussed. Now coming to the virtual memory, the problem here is, for example, if there is a process P, let us suppose a process P is to be executed. Let us suppose its size is 6 GB. We have a process, let us suppose it is process P, it is to be executed. The size of the process P is 6 GB and the size of main memory, we have main memory. Normally what we do, that process will be kept in the main memory. Let us suppose we have a main memory, its size is 4 GB. Now what happens? The size of the process or program to be executed is larger than the size of the main memory. Hope you are getting. So here the problem is the size of process to be executed is greater than what? Size of main memory. Okay. So here what we have to do now, in this situation we will use the virtual memory technique. We will come into act. Okay, hope you have understood. So when this virtual memory technique is useful, So in a situation where the size of the process to be executed is larger than the size of the main memory or physical memory, in this situation this physical memory technique we will be using. Okay, right? So actually once again I repeat that the virtual memory is nothing but the virtual memory does not exist physically. Okay, so it is simply an illusion. The virtual memory appears as if it is existing, but originally it don't exist. Okay, right. So if you see this figure, okay, so this is process. This is process. So this is the process, and see, it is not visible now, that's why I have written. So this is the process, and the process is split into number of pages. We know. So the process will be split into number of pages, and the physical memory, this is nothing but main memory. Don't get confused. Physical memory or main memory both mean the same. Okay, disk storage or secondary memory both mean the same. Okay, so we have already discussed the process will be split into number of pages. Each page is of equal size. Here we have shown, let us suppose it is divided into number of n pages and each page is of equal size. And here now the main memory is split into number of parts, and each part we call it as frame. We call it as frame. Okay, frame. And the frames are of equal size. Each frame is of equal size, and the size of a page and the size of a frame are one and the same. Okay. So here we have used a memory map. Here what happens is we are discussing the size of this process is greater than the size of the main memory. In this situation what we do? So see, some of the pages we have kept in the main memory. Okay, some of the pages we have kept in the main memory. Okay, so we know the number of pages will be more in number than the number of available frames. Yes or no? We have already discussed. Let us suppose the process to be executed is 6 GB and main memory is available main memory is 4 GB. We have discussed available main memory is 4 GB, whereas the process size is 6 GB. Okay, so the process size is greater than the main memory size. So in this situation what we do? See here, the available pages are more than the available frames. If the number of pages are less than or equal to the number of available frames, then each page will be kept in a frame. Thereby, if the number of frames are more, then we will have some empty frames will be available. But here the problem is the number of pages are less. The number of pages are more than the number of frames. Why? Because we have already discussed that the size of the process is greater than the size of the main memory. So in this situation what we do is some of the pages will be kept in the main memory and the remaining we will keep in the secondary memory. But if you see now, as if the virtual memory is used, the virtual memory, at the outset if we see, the virtual memory is used for executing this process. The others know, at the outset it looks like as if the virtual memory has executed all this process, but internally what's happening is the virtual memory, the process, the number of pages, so some of the pages will be kept in the physical memory and the remaining were kept in the secondary memory storage. Okay, this is what happens internally. Okay, so here one more thing what I want to tell is, so the virtual memory can be executed or the virtual memory can be implemented by using demand paging. What exactly is demand paging? A demand paging is nothing but it is similar to a paging. Okay, it is similar to a paging. Suppose if you see a process is split into number of pages. page 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on to n. Okay. So similarly we have main memory. So main memory is divided into number of frames. Frame 0, frame 1, 2 and so on, like that. Okay. So similarly here we have secondary memory. Okay. Here we have secondary memory. Secondary memory consists of huge volume of data or huge amount of data is available in the secondary memory. So here what exactly the author is trying to say is, so see here. So the process, see this is the process to be executed. So demand paging is nothing but the process is split into different pages, page 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on to n. We have discussed the virtual memory can be implemented by using demand paging. Okay, in virtual memory what we have discussed, the size of this process is greater than the size of this main memory. Okay, so in this situation what happens is, so we will not keep all these pages inside the main memory. Why? Because these slots are not sufficient. These slots are not enough. Yes or no? Let us suppose this page we already discussed. Let us suppose the size of this process is 6 GB, whereas the size of this main memory is 4 GB. Then how we can insert? It's not possible. That's why what we do is, in order to avoid this, what we do is, so whatever the pages it is capable of storing. Let us suppose first some pages, when it starts execution, the first pages, page 0, 1, 2 will be stored in the main memory. Those will be executed by the CPU. Okay, the starting pages. Once these page 0 and 1 is executed, then we will take page 0 and page 1 out of the main memory and we will insert page 3 and page 4 inside the main memory. So simple example is, in the olden days we have movies, we have theaters. No, nowadays everything is through satellite. They are telecasting the movies. Okay, in the theaters. Previously we have reels. If you see, no, the length of the size of the movie will be like 16 reels or 14 reels or 18 reels, like that they will be. So first what they do is, first they will telecast this, they will project this movie in 2 theaters in the same town, 2 theaters, theater 1, theater 2. But the timings are different. Here they will start at 6 o'clock. Here they will start at 7 o'clock. Okay, what they will do is, first here, reel 1, first reel, they will telecast. So that will be finished by 6:20 or 6:30. Next, reel 2 will be over. Okay, next they will start telecasting reel 3. While they are telecasting reel 3, these reel 1 and reel 2 will be moved to the second theater. Okay, there they will be telecasting reel 1 and reel 2. By the time they finish reel 1 and reel 2, here reel 3 and reel 4 will be completed. Now they will be telecasting reel 5 and these 2 will be moved to the second theater. Okay, like that they used to do. Okay, now if you come here what we are doing is, so the page which the CPU the page which is to be executed, that page only we will bring into the main memory. That's why it was named after demand paging. The page which we need to bring, okay, we will bring the page on demand. Okay, that particular page we will bring into the main memory. So that's why it was named after demand paging. So if you see here in main memory we have process 1, process 2. Process 1 consists of different pages. Okay, all these are pages. Okay. Process 2, all these are pages. Okay. So what we are doing is, first swap in means from secondary memory we have sent process 1, all A, B, C, D, means all the pages of process 1 is swapped inside the main memory. Okay. Whereas already the main memory consists of process 2. This is swapped out. This is swapped out. This is swapped in. Okay, this is swapped out. Okay, and after completion of executing this process 1, then what we will do? We will swap out process 1 and some other process we will swap in. Like the swap in, swap out we have already discussed in the earlier classes. Okay, so we will swap in on demand. Okay, suppose if you want to process, if you want to bring any page, if you want to bring any page into the main memory for execution on demand, then we simply call it as demand paging. Okay, so this is something about demand paging. So here what the author is telling is the virtual memory is done or executed with the help of demand paging. Okay, we have already discussed what exactly is virtual memory. Virtual memory is nothing but virtual memory is a memory which does not exist physically, but it appears as if it is existing. Okay, it appears or it assumes or we assume that as if it is existing. Okay, it is our illusion simply. Okay, so this is about demand paging. Demand paging is nothing but the process of bringing a page into the main memory on demand is called demand paging. This swap out, swap in, we have already discussed all these things. It's also a part of demand paging, and this is also called as swapping technique. Okay, right. Next, these are the advantages of demand paging. The first advantage, if you see, because of this demand paging, by using this virtual memory, we can assume that we have large virtual memory. That is the first advantage, large virtual memory. Second, it is very efficient to use this type of memory. Okay, efficient use of memory. Okay. Next, there is no limit for degree of multi-programming. Okay, there is no limit for degree of multi-programming. These are the three advantages which we have on demand paging. Okay, right. Our next topic is thrashing. So, thrashing means, don't think that thrashing means something like blasting, like that. No, it is different. So, we will see. So, here the definition is specified very clearly. If a process spends more time on paging, rather than executing, then it is called thrashing. Or you can say that if the processor or if the CPU, okay, right, if CPU, or we can say that processor, or you can say that if CPU spends more time on paging rather than executing, it is called thrashing. So here, what the author is telling is, for example, if some pages were, if a process is brought into the, okay, let us suppose this is a process, okay, and let us suppose, okay, right, we have main memory. So inside the main memory, some pages were there, okay, we have already, so inside the main memory we have some pages, okay, let us suppose these pages are to be executed one by one or one after the other. Suppose if CPU is searching for a particular page, if CPU is searching for some pages, let us suppose page 1, if CPU is searching for page 1, if that page 1 is available in the main memory, it will take that and it will execute that particular page, okay. If CPU is searching for a particular page, let us suppose page P1, if that page is available in the main memory, simply it will take that and it will complete its execution. If that page is not available here, then we call it as page fault. What is page fault? If CPU is searching for a particular data or particular page, and if that page is not available in the main memory or physical memory, then we call it as page fault. Okay, right? So Suppose if your mother while cooking, while cooking, no. So if she is searching for salt, if salt is available, immediately she will take that salt and she will use some salt in the curry. If the salt is not available, what she will do? She will stop cooking and she will go to the market, supermarket or nearby shop, and she will bring salt, and then she will continue her cooking. Right? Similarly, here also the same. So page fault is nothing but, so if CPU is searching for a particular page inside the main memory, and if that page is not available inside the main memory, then we got it as page fault. If it is not available. If it is available, it will take that and it will execute it. If it is not available, it is page fault. Okay. Page fault. If page fault has occurred, what it will do? The main memory now. Suppose if it is searching for P1, but unfortunately P1 is not there. P0, P2, P4, P3 were there. So now what it will do? It will remove. Okay. It will swap in, swap out. We have discussed now. Swap in, swap out. Okay. So it will swap out any one of these page. It will swap out and it will swap in P1. Let us suppose it sends this one out and brings P1 inside. Suppose. Okay. Suppose. So for doing this process, it takes time. Why? Because for page replacement, we have some techniques. We have some techniques like FIFO. We have discussed in the earlier classes. FIFO, LRU, optimal. Okay, these three are the page replacement algorithms or page replacement techniques. These three techniques are useful for replacing the page by using either FIFO, first in, first out, LRU, least recently used, optimal page replacement algorithm. By using any one of those three algorithms, so the page replacement means we are searching, the CPU is searching for page P1 now, so P1 will be replaced. Okay, like that, if CPU is searching for some other process or some other page, and again if that is not available, so again page fault will occur, and meanwhile that particular page will be brought into the main memory. Okay, so like this, the page fault, number of page faults will occur. Okay, so number of page faults will occur. Okay, so what the CPU will do is, so here the page fault has occurred, so by using any one of the page replacement algorithm, that required page will be brought into this main memory. Meanwhile, CPU thinks for executing some other process, another process. Okay, let us suppose it has started executing process 1. This is process 2. Okay, it will go for another process. Suppose in that process also the scenario is same. There also it has some pages, and whatever the page the CPU is searching for, that particular page is not available inside the main memory. Again, the page fault has occurred. Again, it went for applying page replacement algorithm or page replacement technique. There also it takes time. Meanwhile, it goes for some other process. Some other process 3. There also the same. So everywhere the page faults have occurred. Okay. So here the degree of multiprogramming means more number of processes are being executed simultaneously. But what happened is, at the end the thrashing has occurred. Means CPU has done nothing. Thrashing is nothing but CPU is in idle state. CPU is in idle state without performing any operation. The CPU is in idle state. It has not performed any operation. It is in idle state. Okay. So that's what the thrashing means. Okay. Hope you have understood. Okay. So see here. So here we have taken CPU utilization in y-axis and degree of multiprogramming in x-axis. So here there is no. Here the CPU utilization is 0. Okay. Slowly the CPU utilization is increased. So here it has become peak. Okay, the degree of multiprogramming means number of programs are being executed simultaneously. The degree of multiprogramming is high. Okay, at a particular instant, no, it is in idle state. So now here the crashing has taken place. It is in idle state. It has done no job, no execution, nothing, because it is in idle state, because it went for different process. All the processes are in busy in using page replacement techniques, okay, because they have page fault has occurred in process 1, process 2, process 3, okay. So CPU starts executing a particular process P1, okay. Here it has number of pages, okay. So in the main memory some pages were loaded into the main memory. CPU, while executing, it has searched for a particular page, and if that page is available, it will take and continue its execution. If that page is not available, then it means that a page fault has occurred. When a page fault has occurred, if CPU is searching for a particular page and if that page is not available inside the main memory, then a page fault occurs. Okay, a page fault has occurred. So in order to overcome this, so when a page fault occurs, what we do, whatever the page we require, that page has to be kept inside the main memory, and one among the existing pages should be sent out. So that is based upon the page replacement algorithms. That is FIFO or LRU or optimal. Based upon any one of the page replacement algorithm, we will use that. Okay. So here the page fault has occurred, and it is busy in using the page replacement algorithms to replace what exactly the page requires required by the CPU. So meanwhile, the CPU goes for executing another process P2. Also the same story. Page fault has occurred, and it is also busy in using the page replacement. Suppose it went for executing process P3. They are also the same. So now what happens is degree of multiprogramming. See, number of programs are being executed parallelly simultaneously, but unfortunately the CPU is in idle state because it is not in a position to execute, because whatever the page it wants, all the pages are not available in the main memory. So they are busy in replacing that particular page by using some replacement algorithms. So here the thrashing takes place. Thrashing is nothing but CPU is in idle state without any job. Okay, this is exactly what happens here. Okay, so with this we will wind up the session. Okay, thank you.